So when I talk about P2P, P means procure to pay. So from the time a requirement comes and till the time the payment is done, that is the full process is called as the procurement cycle or a procure to pay cycle. Procure means to buy and pay means to make a payment to the vendor. Okay, so there are generally there are 7 steps that will cover your P2P cycle. A simple procure to pay cycle. Based on this procurement cycle, there are other procurement processes that are there in the system or which the business uses. Okay, so now if I have to explain about procure to pay cycle, then the first thing that any process will start with the help when there is a requirement. Okay, so let's do something. So let's say we have a company. Okay, there is a company called ABC Industries Limited. There is a company which the name of the company is ABC Industries Limited. In that company there are 5,000 employees. Okay, out of 5,000, let's say 1,000 is in HR, for example. 2,000 is in production department. 500 is in IT. Okay, like that. There are a lot of departments that constitute this company. Now, this HR, these people are recruited from the recruitment team, so they will be requiring pen or books, not books, notebooks. When a new employee joins, they need to give all these things to the new joinees. Production department, they need raw materials to convert, because this is going to be a manufacturing industry. So if it is a manufacturing industry, then it should have a raw material which will be converted to finished product. Okay, so to manage these people, there should be a process which is efficient and reliable. Correct. So because of that, this P2P cycle comes into picture, wherein these people, whoever is working here, can place the orders as per their requirement, and that order or requirement is fulfilled. Okay, so for that there will be a purchasing team. So these are the end users, okay, who are going to raise their requests, and those requests will be fulfilled by the purchasing team of the department. Okay, so now we as a consultant will be helping these end users and this purchasing team if there are any issues that crops up in the system. Okay, so now how does a P2P cycle run, or how does a P2P cycle start and end? So these are the non-purchasing department. Okay, non-purchasing department, meaning that these are people who are working in these departments. And purchasing team means here also there will be list of, let's say, 10-50 people who are trying to manage all the requirements that are coming from the non-purchasing department. Okay, up to this much clear? Any doubts?
No.
Okay, so always there will be a purchasing team who will be working day in and day out to fulfill the requirement of the non-purchasing department, so that the company does not face any issues or does not get stuck in between. Okay, because of either shortage of materials or shortage of resources. Okay, na? So now this purchasing team will initiate the full process actually of the P2P. Now this P2P means that procure to pay, wherein the requirement will come and then how does the procurement take place. Okay, now the first step is requirement determination. Okay, what it means is whenever an end user which is from a non-purchasing department raises a request. Okay, so Prakash and Shilpa, you are working and in an organization wherein there are multiple people, right? It has resources. So all these resources will have requirement depending on their job profile. So whenever they are in need of something for the company, not for individual purpose, for the company, they will raise a request in the system. That is called as an indent or a purchase requisition.
Okay.
So that requirement determination is nothing but the purchase requisition or an indent which gets created in the system either automatically or manually. So MRP is a concept which I will be explaining, that is called as materials requirement planning. This concept will trigger the creation of a purchase requisition automatically in the system. Okay, there is a process for that. Or else there will be a person who will be creating a purchase requisition in the system and generating a requirement. Okay, so that requirement will come to the purchasing team, so that purchasing team will contact multiple vendors, okay, and determine a source means a vendor out of multiple vendors. If for example the requirement has come for an iPhone, so iPhone can be bought from Apple Store or Reliance Digital or Chroma or eZone, right? So I have 4 vendors from whom I can buy an iPhone. So this purchasing team, they will contact all these 4 vendors and then try to find the best deal possible. Okay, so they will, so that is called as the source determination. So they will approach multiple vendors and finalize one vendor. So they will, after the source is determined, they will finalize or select the vendor. That is called as the vendor selection. Once the vendor is selected, a purchase order will be sent. Purchase order is a legal document which goes out of the company to the vendor.
Okay.
Because if tomorrow, if I say on phone, if I tell to the vendor that please send me 5 iPhones, after 1 week or after 1 month, if the manager of the company asks, not manager of the company, manager of the purchasing department asks for the details of those 5 iPhones, there will be no answer to the purchasing department. So the purchasing department has to generate a legal document and send it to the vendor. Once the order is sent to the vendor, a follow-up is done, meaning that if I order an iPhone today and after negotiating with the vendor says that you will receive the iPhone in 5 days. So on the 4th day, there will be a follow-up done with the vendor asking whether the material or the product will be sent to the company or not. That is called as order follow-up. So once the vendor will say that yes, we will be sending you on 5th day, that is tomorrow. Today is the 4th day, for example. So tomorrow we will be sending you the goods. So once the goods are received by the company, then the GR will be done. That is called as the goods receipt, which is also a legal document which gets generated in the system confirming that the material has been received by the company. So that details will be updated in the company system as well as in the vendor system.
Mhm.
Once the material reaches the company, it will be stored in a safe place in a proper manner so that there is no damage happening to the product. That is called as inventory management. There are different methods or different ways by which that inventory management is done, which we will be learning in the future classes. Inventory management means managing the stock in terms of quantity and value. Okay. Once the materials are received, it's not that we will forget the vendor. No, we have to make payment to the vendor, but before making the payment, we have to do the verification of the invoice. Verification of the invoice means we have to check whether the invoice that the vendor has sent is correct or not. Correct or not in the sense that whether the correct material has been maintained in the invoice verification or not, the price that was finalized at the time of selection of vendor has been put properly or not, whether the payment term is correctly maintained or not. All those values or informations will be verified and then posted in the system. That is called as invoice verification. Once the payment date comes, the payment will be made to the vendor.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the complete P2P cycle. Okay, Prakash, any doubts in this?
Yeah, understood. No issues.
Okay, so I will show you one P2P cycle directly into the system. Okay, so that you have at least a fair idea how the system works. I will show you the screens and then explain. After that, we will go to the master data. Okay. Now, what are the things that I would need for completing a P2P cycle? First, I will need a material master. Then I will need a vendor master. Then I will need a requirement. Okay, the requirement is called as the purchase requisition. Then I will need source determination, that is the vendor, which is this. Okay, then comes order processing. Order processing means purchase order. Then order follow-up is fine. We have then goods receipt and inventory management, that is called as goods receipt itself, and then invoice verification. You already know that SAP runs on transaction codes. So for material we have MM01, XK01. XK01, ME51N. What is wrong? Why is it like this? ME21 and Migo Miro. So these are the transaction codes which we will be using to conclude or to execute the P2P process. Okay. So first I'll show you everything about master data. Okay. Sorry, everything about material master. Everything about material master means I will be explaining you how a material master is created, how a material master is changed and displayed, how do you find any changes made, and a lot of other informations I will be giving you, as well as I will be explaining you the backend settings of material master. For that matter, for everything, wherever the backend settings are required, I will tell you why we need the backend settings. Reason is we as a consultant need to know in and out of the system. That is why we need to know the backend settings. Correct? So I'll just run one P2P cycle fast, and then we will start the material master. I'll explain to you what is a material master, how many master data we are going to see, and then we'll focus on material master today. So let's start. So first I'll create a material. So why I create a material? Because I need to maintain the details of the material in the system. Otherwise, system will not be able to identify whether that product is available or not. Right? So for example, let's say this is Reliance Digital. I am going to implement, or I have already maintained Reliance. I have already installed SAP in my system. I have done the implementation for Reliance Digital. I am the owner of Reliance Digital, for example. So I want my store to run efficiently. So for that, I have approached some consultancies, and then I have installed SAP in my system. So I have so many products inside my warehouse or inside my shop. So all these details has to be maintained in my system so that I can execute my transactions. Okay, let it be fridge or TV or washing machine or whatever it is, those details will be maintained in my system. And how do we do that? Is using these transaction codes. This has gone out. Let's see. So I'm considering a material, let's say washing machine. So washing machine, I have to give a unique code basically. Okay, so I will not give any material number. I will ask the system only to give the material number. I'll explain why. So I am leaving it blank. I'm giving the industry sector. What is industry sector? What is material type? I'll explain to you when I come to the material master part. I'll just create and show it to you as of now. For initial practicing, just use basic data 1, purchasing, and accounting 1. And what are all these things? I'll explain to you in detail. Okay, so don't worry. Just say that. Just keep in mind that select basic data 1, purchasing, and accounting 1. Don't select any other things. We will be selecting and going through all of these views and then understanding each and every one of them. So this is one material or a machine which I am maintaining in the system, and the system has generated a number 3367, which has been, I did not give this number, right? System has only given it to me. But why did it give only 3367? Why not any other number? Why not 4567? Why not 555? Why not any other number? Why only this? There is a reason for that, which I will be explaining to you at the time of explaining you the backend settings of the material master. Okay. Unit of measure is each. Material group, I'll select as electronics. Why electronics? I'll explain to you. Once I hit enter, it will take me to the purchasing view. It has skipped all other views. It was here, then it directly came to purchasing. Why is that? Because I had selected, after basic data 1, I had selected purchasing. Now once I give the data here, it will go to accounting. So let's say purchasing group, I'll put enter. If I'm going too fast, please tell me. Or if you're not able to understand anything, just stop me in between and let me explain. Let's say 25,000. Why am I putting the value in the standard price section, not in the moving price section? I will explain to you. Enter. Yes. So this is a material that has been created. Material means the details of the product that is there in the store. So 3367 is the called as the material code or material number. So this is the material number. I'll create a vendor master now. Don't worry about the transaction codes that I'm using. Anyways, I'll be coming back and explaining to you in detail of all those things. So I'm going to create a vendor or a supplier who can provide me that product, Samsung fridge, 250 liters. For this, I'll select company code, purchase organization. What is this company code, purchase organization, account group? Prakash, you know this enterprise structure, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Fair idea.
hello.
Yeah, Prakash, you have fair idea, right, about enterprise structure?
Yeah,
When you are
somewhat.
doing coding, when you are doing coding or debugging, you have come across this company code, plant, storage location, purchase organization.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
yes, but you are not so comfortable or so much aware of it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, no worries, don't worry. I'll explain to you everything about all these things. Okay, enterprise structure and all. So this is how we create a vendor. Vendor means the supplier. For example, when we go outside, we go to some restaurants and all. Those are also called as vendors. So we need to maintain the details of the vendor because we are going to do the transactions with the vendors. So when we are doing the transactions, we need to maintain the data also in the system. So for example, I'm going to Reliance Digital. Always use DE as the country. Okay, don't use IN, because if you use IN, you'll end up with a lot of errors, which will not be good. You will lose interest when you get errors. So while practicing, the flow should be smooth so that you get very less errors. And even if you get errors, you should be able to resolve it. Okay. So that is why always use DE, and region. This one should not be mandatory, but somehow it is mandatory. We'll change it later. No need to put all those details. Wherever there is mandatory, we will change it. And currency, always use Euro, EUR. Don't use INR. Now my vendor is also created. The vendor number is 84 times 017. Why only this number? Why not any other number? I will explain. So my basic master data is ready to carry out my transaction. What does this means is my material master. This is a material. So uh, okay. So this is a material and this is the vendor. So I am now, if this is the person who is going to procure, so the master data, there is the material master and the vendor master is ready. So it is now possible to carry out the transaction. Okay. So this person needs a product. Okay, who wants to buy it. So he will raise a demand in the system, and that demand he will raise in ME51N. So for an end user, the maximum thing that he needs is the material details, the quantity, and the plant for which he is going to order the item. Plant means the branch or the building in which he is working. Okay, so this is the material he is going to buy. I mean, this is the material he is in need of. Quantity he needs is, let's say, 10, and he is working in plant number 1000. Okay, enter. That is all he needs to give as input. All the rest of the things will be taken care of by the purchasing team. Okay, so because this is just the requirement of the end user. So this is called as the purchase requisition, in which a demand is generated. Okay, you save it. So always, every time, whatever transaction we do, a number will be generated. So this is the purchase requisition number. Now in the P2P cycle, if I show you, we are now here in number 1, demand requirement determination. So the requirement has been determined in this purchase requisition. Then this purchase requisition has to be converted to a purchase order. So this will be done by the purchasing team. This will be done by the purchasing team, or sometimes the end user also, and this will be done by the accounts payable team. Okay, so let's go to the purchasing team now. Now we are going to the purchasing team. So I mean, we are acting as the purchasing team. So since we are acting as the purchasing team, so we will have the authorization for ME21N. So I am now acting as the purchasing team. So I will be negotiating with multiple vendors and finally come out with the best vendor, that is Reliance Digital. Okay, I have negotiated with Ezone, I have negotiated with Chroma, I have negotiated with other vendors, but finally I find that Reliance Digital will give me the best possible deal. So I will go with Reliance Digital. So for that, I will put the vendor number here. So the vendor number is this one. This is called as the vendor code or vendor number. So I'll put the vendor number and the purchase organization. I'll put 1000, group 001 company code 1000. Why 1000 I'm taking? I'll explain to you in detail. Okay, as of now, if you are practicing, practice with these values. Okay, don't use any other values, please. Otherwise, you'll get errors. I don't want you to get the errors at the initial stages because you will lose it. It will be boring. It becomes boring. So now I'll create this purchase order with respect to the purchase requisition. So I need to have that purchase requisition detail in the purchase order. So this is the place where you maintain the purchase requisition. I'll be explaining to you all these fields, whatever fields are here. I'll explain to you one by one. As of now, I will put the purchase requisition number here. So with respect to this purchase requisition, I'll be creating a purchase order. So there will be a linkage between the purchase requisition and the purchase order. Ignore all these things. Don't worry. Okay. So the purchase order is ready. The legal document that will be sent to this vendor is ready. So I'll save it. So now we are in this stage. Source determination is done, vendor is selected, and order is processed. Okay. Now once the order is processed, how will the vendor receive the purchase? Because everything what I'm doing is in my company, is inside my system. How will the vendor receive it? I'll tell you. The vendor will receive it in the form of an email with an attachment. Okay. From this system, from my SAP system, an email will be triggered. Okay. So an email will be triggered. These are the options. These are the multiple options, or these are the options through which the vendor will receive the purchase order. Okay, either a print output or external send, fax, telex, all these things. Okay.
Okay.
Now, how will the but how does the in my screen the purchase order looks like this? But when the purchase order reaches the vendor, how will it look like? Let's see. I go to print preview. This is how the attachment will look like when it reaches to the vendor. Okay, this is the default layout. You can Prakash might be knowing if he has worked. I'm not sure. If you have worked on smart forms, then you can make changes to this layout.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So this is just the default layout given by SAP. So you can of course make changes as per the requirement of the business. So this is how a purchase order will look like, wherein the delivery address will be there, and then what is the product and how much is the amount is maintained. Okay. So this is how a purchase order will look like. So the delivery date is 5/8/2019. So after 2 days. So this is the delivery date. Now order follow-up. So tomorrow the purchasing department will be will be calling the Reliance Digital and asking whether the purchase order will be sent to on the 5th or not. Okay, so they will confirm. That is called as order follow-up. Now considering that today is 5th and I have received the material. So I have to maintain it in the system. As of now, there is no confirmation in this document or in this purchase order that the material has been received. Okay, so once we do the receipt of the material, okay, then there will be a tab which will come. A new tab will come between conditions and account assignment. Okay. In between these two, one tab will come. Let's see what is that tab. These are called tabs, right? You already know. So I will go to Migo. So I will go to this transaction code MIGO.
So can we expect the interview question like how to change the layout of the print preview what we have done now? POPU?
No,
No, no. Okay.
no, no. That will come to an ABAPer.
ABAPer. Okay, okay.
That is an ABAPer question. And one more thing is, whatever important interview questions are there, I will be telling you as and when I'm explaining.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I have ordered for 10 quantity. So I will be receiving 10 quantity. And I need to tick mark this one item OK. I'm going to receive in the plant 1000 and storage location 0001. Just take it as 0001. Then I'll just post it. So what I'm doing is I'm confirming that I have received those materials. Okay. As of now, we are getting one error. Let me resolve that.
What transaction code MMPV?
Ignore this now. I will explain. Of course, yes, the transaction code is MMPV. Okay. What it means is, okay, let me explain then today. So the error says that posting only possible in the periods 2019 2019/7 and 2019/6. So there is a window of or 2 months in which you can post the goods receipt. Okay, but today it is already 8th month, August, right? So that is why I have to open the posting period for the 8th month, and to do that I need to go to transaction code MMPV. We will come back to this. We will do this once again when we proceed. So the document is posted. You can see one purchase order history tab has come. Okay, this is a new tab that has come after we have performed the goods receipt. Okay, so in this is called as the goods receipt line. Okay, goods receipt. So which means that we are confirming that the material has been received from the vendor. Okay, now we are in this stage, goods receipt and inventory management. What is inventory management? Inventory management means I will now be able to see that this 10 quantity is in my premises or in my plant. Okay, and how do I do that? Is using a transaction code MMPE. This gives me the stock overview or the inventory management overview. So for this material in this plant, in this storage location, I'm using many words like plant, storage location, company code, purchase organizations. All those things I will be explaining in the enterprise structure part. Okay, no, don't worry. So if I execute, you can see in my company, in my plant, I have 10 quantity. This is 10. Okay, not 10,000. This is 10. So 10 quantity is now available with me of this product, Samsung fridge. Okay, so this is the inventory management part. So we are done with goods receipt is done, because of which the inventory has increased or the product is received from the vendor. Now since the product has been received, I have to post the invoice also. So this invoice posting is done by the accounts payable team, okay, or the finance team. But we need to know what are the different things that happens in the at the time of invoice verification. So for doing the invoice verification, we need to go to Miro transaction code, and then we need to fill up two values initially. The first value is the purchase order, because we are going to do the invoicing or post the invoice with respect to the purchase order. We have different options. These are the different options by which we can post an invoice, but as of now, for today, we will do for purchase order. So once we put the purchase order, which is this one, I'll hit enter. It will ask me to put the enter a valid date in here. So invoice date, let's say I have received the invoice on 05. Enter. It has accepted. And now in this section balance, when you see the balance, it is 1000 minus, meaning that you have to pay 1000 rupees or 1000 euro to the vendor. So in this, always it should be a green light, not red light. Okay, so to make it green, you have to balance it here. You have to put that amount, positive amount here.
Okay.
Okay, this negative amount, if you have to balance it, you have to put a positive value here, so it becomes balanced. And baseline date, we have to put the baseline date, so we will put 5th. What is baseline date and everything I'll explain to you. Baseline date means if I'm not putting the payment terms means after receiving the invoice, after how many days I should make the payment. That is called as the payment terms. If I'm not putting the payment terms, I have to put the baseline date, means by which date I will be making the payment. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the, and then if I save it, I will get, just it is not yet posted. So I'll get one more line which will say invoice verification. Okay, which will complete the P2P cycle.
So you're saying, sir, so hello, am I audible,
Yes.
sir? So it means when we will receive the goods and when we will that date we have given now. What is the date? So can you go to that page? Payment, yes. So we can control the payment, right?
We can
Invoice.
control the payment. Yes.
Yeah, even if we'll receive the goods, when the due date is there, then only we will do the payment.
Exactly.
Okay.
There is a refresh button which you can click on to update the. So you can see here, good receipt is done, invoice receipt is done.
Okay.
I think I'm echoing, right? Is it?
No, not exactly.
Okay, fine. So goods receipt, invoice receipt. So this is in this page only I can show you the complete P2P cycle. Okay. So first we have this the requirement. Okay. With this requirement we have created the purchase order. Okay. Before that, after we received the requirement, we negotiated with multiple vendors and finalized this vendor. Okay. Requirement received, source is determined, purchase order is created. So purchase order is created. Once purchase order created, it went to the vendor. The vendor received this this purchase order document. He sent the material. We received it, and then we made the payment. Not made the payment. We posted the invoice, and on a particular date, the invoice will be paid automatically. Okay. So this is a complete P2P cycle. Prakash, you are comfortable with this?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, as of now, it's fine.
You run one cycle. Okay. You create a material. You create a vendor. Create purchase requisition. Then you will get some doubts. You can ask me.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll continue for some time. Okay. Because I need to explain to you the few transactions of material master. I'll explain 3 transaction codes of material master today, so that at least when you have spare time you can practice. So for
sir,
material
this session is recorded by you?
Adrian is recording it.
Oh, Adrian. Okay.
So material master, we have around six transaction codes which you need to memorize. Okay. Out of the 6, I'll explain today 3 transaction codes, that is MM01, MM02, and MM03, and also MM04. Okay. So what is MM01, 02, 03 is create material, change material, and display material. This is display changes. Okay. So what are all these things? Let's do it. MM01. You can see here create material initial screen. So with this screen you can create materials, as many materials as you want. Now in this screen there are 3 interview questions which will come based on like material, internal and external material. Okay. Internal material means internal material number means the material number that is given by the system automatically based on the backend setting that we have done. Okay. Now coming to industry sector, these are the industry sectors that are not all of them are default given by SAP. So few of them has been created by some users. So this chemical industry, food and related products, mechanical engineering. So depending on the industry that you see here, the views will come. Okay. For our practice, we need to use the mechanical engineering. Okay. If it is a manufacturing industry, it will definitely be mechanical engineering. If pharmaceuticals, you can it is understood. So we'll select mechanical engineering. The question here is it possible to create a new industry sector? Okay, there is one question which is an interview question. Can you create a new industry sector? The answer you can find it from here itself, because somebody has created at Navin Goods. SAP will never give Navin Goods, right? Education service or service provider. So yes, the answer is yes, it is possible to create a new industry sector. Okay, where to create I will show you in the at the time of backend setting when I'm explaining the backend settings. So there are a lot of backend settings we need to know. So let me show you what are the backend settings you will be understanding. So backend settings for material master. So I will show the path and everything when the time comes. Now coming to material type. Material type means the materials having the common attributes are grouped together and put into one material type. For example, whatever material you see here, whatever material you see inside this Reliance Digital are all finished goods.
Yes.
Right? You don't find anything which is of not completed. Right? Whether it is TV or washing machine or fridge or vacuum cleaner or air purifier, or everything is finished goods here. So all these things, whenever you are creating materials for Reliance Digital, then whenever you are selecting the material type, it will be a finished, FERT, finished product. Now, if I go to a manufacturing industry, for example, Glass factory. So this is a raw material. Okay, so using this they will heat it up. This is a pile of raw materials. So you will not find this thing in the Reliance Digital, right? You will not find. And if you go to a glass store, then you will find this. This is the finished product. This is the raw material. So the initial product with which the finished product is made is called as the raw material. So this is a raw material. This is a raw material. So all these things will be grouped together while creating the material, and they will be put under raw materials. ROH is raw material. Okay, so this is the material type. So you have to memorize at least 6 to 7 material types, the standard ones.
Okay.
For example, DIEN. Okay, they will ask you, suddenly they will ask you they will be asking something else, and then suddenly they will ask, can you give me the material type code for service? Then immediately you have to respond saying that the material type is DIEN. Okay. And also they will ask you, in your current organization or for your, the client for which you are working, what are the customized material types? Can you give few customized material types? What is customized material types? Customized material types means anything which is starting with Z. Okay, so not all companies would be comfortable in using or would be wanting to use the standard material types, because they will be, for example, raw material. Okay, they want to keep the raw material of glass separate from raw material of aluminum, for example. So they will, what they will do is they will create new material types with codes like ZGLA. Okay, but it will be copy of ROH. What is ROH? ROH is raw material, standard raw material. They will copy the settings of ROH and change it into ZGLA, and for aluminum they will put a ZALU.
These are mandatory, right? ZGLA.
Yes, yes, that is mandatory, because whenever any customized transaction code or customized things are made into the in SAP, then either you have to use with Z or Y.
Yeah, similar to ABAP, right?
Yeah, similar to ABAP. For functionals also.
GLA is we can keep anything, right?
GLA.
We can keep
Yeah,
anything.
I think
Right?
yes. No,
Once
sir.
again,
What he was asking is GLA is not mandatory. Only Z is
no,
mandatory.
GLA is not mandatory. You can put
Yeah.
ABC also. But since I am making the material type for glass,
Glass.
and this is for aluminum, so in order for anybody to understand, if I put GLA, then it will be easy for understanding that it is glass. Or you can put LAS, right, like that. So this is not mandatory, but Z is mandatory. Okay, so just an example. So this is how it is. So there are interview questions based on this. So you have to memorize. So first question is, you have to memorize default material types, not all. I will give you the important ones. Okay, and also you have to keep yourself ready for any Z also. You can say anything based on the client which you will be picking. Okay, you have to understand what are the products they are manufacturing. Okay, and then based on that you can keep your own Z codes. Okay, I will be helping you on all those things, don't worry. Okay, but the standard ones, so you have to memorize. Okay, rest we can manage. So from here you have 3 questions. What is, can you create a new industry sector? Material type, standard material types you have to remember, and you have to make out some Z material types and keep it in your mind. Okay,
Customized material type.
yes, customized material types. Once you hit enter, you will be taken to a new screen, which is, now there is a place from where these things are coming, right? It is not coming out of look, or it will not keep on changing every time you click on this, right? So there is some place where it is coming from. So we will see that in the backend setting part. This is called as the view. These are all called as the views. Depending on the material type, these views will come, and also you can change the settings. Okay, so as of now, for your practice today, if you are practicing, then just select only basic data one, purchasing and accounting one. Okay, the reason is, if you select other things, those things you might not know the value, so you will get stuck. Okay, so here these 3 views are selected once, and then once you click on organizational levels, then it will ask for the plant. Plant means, let's take this as an example. Now you have Reliance Digital, and Reliance Digital is not only in Karnataka, correct? So it is in, let's say that wherever there is dots, you can see those are all Reliance Digital. Okay, let's imagine that. Or else what we can do is, okay, so let's imagine at a higher scale. So wherever there is this sign, just like the balloon sign, those are all Reliance Digitals. Okay, and each of them are plant.
Okay.
Okay, so plant is a building wherein the lot of activity happens. Activity in the sense the manufacturing happens, sales, all those things happens. So it is a building. The best thing would be to go to, I don't know it will come or not. Let's say, so wherever there is a star, there is some kind of a factory that is available, right? So each and every one of them is a plant, and each plant is in different states. Okay, so in SAP we will be maintaining them as a code, like 1000. Let's say we start from Delhi, or which place is that? Himachal Pradesh, right? This is better. So Himachal Pradesh, we will code it as 1000, Punjab 1100, Rajasthan 1200, Gujarat 1300. Like that, we will be maintaining these plants as a plant code. Okay. Now what I'm doing here is I'm creating this material only for a single plant, only for this Himachal Pradesh. Okay, because I need this raw material only in Himachal Pradesh. I don't need it in any other plant. After, let's say, after 1 week or 2 weeks, Uttar Pradesh also needs this material. Then they will extend this material. What is called extension and creation, I'll explain. So this Uttar Pradesh will extend this material to their plant. Let's say 1500. Okay. So all this concept I'll explain. So as of now, this material is being created only for Himachal Pradesh. So I will put the Himachal Pradesh code, that is 1000. Okay. Enter. Then it will take you to a view wherein you need to put the basic data. For example, the material code, let's say this is 300 liters. Base unit of measure is each. We cannot measure fridge as liters or kg, like that. We always measure in pieces. So EA. Material group means the material having the same attributes. What it means is anything, most of the things which are inside Reliance Digital are electronics, correct? So along with electronics, they have furnitures also, because they keep the electronics on tables or something, chairs or whatever. They have kept sofa also to for the customers to sit down. So they will not maintain all those things in the system. But what I'm saying is, you can group the materials into material groups wherein all the products belonging to electronics will be grouped under electronics. Okay. So this is called as material group. We will be creating new material groups also, okay, in the backend setting part. And you already know, wherever there is a tick mark, it is mandatory. Wherever there is no tick mark, it is optional. And some of them will be grayed out also. Nothing is grayed out. So without entering, yeah, you have any question?
No. Okay.
Okay. So until and unless you put that value in that mandatory field, you will not be allowed to go to the next screen. So once I put the material group, I hit enter, automatically it takes me to the purchasing view. In the purchasing view, again, there is one. I hit enter, it is not allowing me to go to the next screen because purchasing group is mandatory. 001. I'll put. Purchasing group is nothing but the person who is only one. Okay. Something is wrong. Anyways, so purchasing group is the name of the person who is responsible for procuring this material. Okay. Or it is called as the buyer code or the purchasing group. Coming here, the accounting view, you have this valuation class and price control, moving price and standard price. These four things comes into picture. Now here, what is valuation class is? It is a code which will help in deciding the GL account. What is that? I will explain to you in detail. Okay. During the concept of automatic account determination, there is a big topic which is called as automatic account determination. At that time, I will explain to you in detail about this valuation class. Coming to price control, we have two values here, V and S. V is moving average price, S is standard price. Moving average price means when we will use moving average price, we will be using it when we know that the price of a particular material keeps on changing regularly. For example, for raw materials, basically we use moving average price. For semi-finished and for finished, we use standard price because those products does not change the price frequently. So if I'm selecting V, then I have to put the price in moving price tab. Okay. And if I select S, then I have to put the price in this place. Okay. If I select B, I will have to put here. If I select S, I have to put here. Okay. Click on yes. So this is how you create a material. Oh, I took this one. Now this is how a material is created. Now, for example, I was talking about extending, right? So now, yeah. Any question?
No, nothing.
No, right? Okay. Now this material is now available for Reliance Digital in Himachal Pradesh. Okay. I mean that material is now available in the system for plant Himachal Pradesh. That is 1000. Let's say after a few days, Delhi also needs this material. Okay. So it has to maintain this exact same material because the company is same, right? Its company is same. So the material codes should also be same for all the plants.
Okay.
It cannot be same material cannot be having a different code in different plants. Not possible. Okay, because it is under one roof, it is under one company, only the plans are changing. Okay, so in that case, how to do that is, if you use, I'll keep the transaction codes here. If you use mm01 and try to create this same material, okay, it was, sorry, not this one. If you create it for the same plant, it will not allow. Material already maintained. Okay, because in this plant this material code is already available. Okay, but this same material code I need to create for another plant. Let's say 1100. Okay, let's imagine that the plant that is available in Delhi, the code of that plant is 1100.
Okay.
Enter, it will allow. You can see same material code, everything, all the informations are same, and it is saying the material already exists and will be extended. Okay. Now there are two ways of extending. The first is just put the material code, hit enter. It will ask only for the plant for which you want to extend it. So again 1100 I will put enter, it will allow you. Okay, this is one method. Another way is you can copy. Okay, one more thing I wanted to show you. 1100 enter. Here you can see it has taken the default value. Okay, you can see here it is asking to put this value, right? Okay, but if I do something else and I'll copy from, okay, if I put the same material code here, enter, then it is saying that this is the new plant for which I will be creating this material, and copy from where? Copy from 1000. Okay, so all the details that is available for 1000 will be copied to 1100.
Right.
Enter. In this case, purchasing group is already taken from 1000.
Okay.
If you want to keep it, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can change it.
Right.
Enter. Here also, all the data is fetched from 1000.
Right.
Now, not necessary that the price that is in Himachal Pradesh is same as the price in Delhi.
Right.
Because Delhi is a capital, cost of living is high, price of material is little bit more than Himachal Pradesh, for example. So let's say the price is more by 1000 in Delhi. So it will allow you. So plant wise, you can maintain the price. Okay.
Okay.
So now I want to see what is the price of the material in Himachal Pradesh, and what is the price, means what is the cost of this material in Himachal Pradesh, and what is the cost of this material in Delhi. In that case, I cannot go to mm01 and see. It will say I want to open it, for example. So I want to open it for 1000. It will not allow because it is already created. So I have to display it. So I have to go to mm03. First I will see for 1000. Enter. So I see the price as 30,000. Here you cannot change anything because it is display mode.
Display.
Then I'll go to 1100. 31,000. Okay, now I got the information that is required. Now when I was seeing the material, I saw that the purchasing group has to be changed. Okay, so in order to do that, I have to go to make any changes, I have to go to mm02. I'll change it for 1100. Enter. Z17 somebody has created, let it be, and then it will be changed. Save it, change. Let's view this in mm03. there's 17 changed, right? So these are the 3 transaction codes. Now the fourth one is MM04. Now let's say we have created the material, we have changed the material, maintenance, all those things are done. After 2-3 months, there is some error or issue that came because of some changes in the material master. So they want to see who has made the changes, okay, and when. In order to do that, they have to go to MM04, enter, put the material, and they can check in different levels. They can change with plant level or valuation type level, whichever level. But let's check at plant level 1100 because we made the changes in 1100. Execute. You can see 3 lines. So change will always happen in MM02. So if you double click on it, then you can see the old value was 002, the new value is 7Z17, and it was changed by this user ID on 3rd of this month at 9 AM. So this information they will get. Okay, so this is the functionality of MM04. One more transaction code I will show you. MM60. Material list.
Okay.
I go to MM60, enter. Here you can find all the materials that has been created based on these criteria, either at plant level or material type level or material group level or created by level. So let's find the materials that are created for plant 1100. I'll just put the plant code and execute. So it will give me the list of materials. So this is the list of materials.
Hello.
Okay. So I'm audible, right?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, because there is a power failure, so I'm just connected to my mobile. Okay, so this now what I'm going to say is all these things that we have learned till now is from an end user's perspective. Okay.
Okay.
Material list, display change, create material, everything is on at an end user level. Okay. So when I'm saying end user level, Prakash, I just want to highlight one thing. So we have 3 levels in SAP. First is the topmost is consultant. That is currently you are an ABAP consultant. Below that there is a power user. Below that there is end user. So as of now, what we have learned is we will forget about power user. We don't need this guy. Okay. So as of now, what we have learned is from an end user's perspective. So in the next class, I'll take you through everything that we as a consultant need to know. Okay, all the backend settings. How should you find out the details without using transaction codes? Okay, so as of now, what we have found out is getting the material list using MM60. So if as a consultant, if I also start using MM60, then there will be no difference between me and the end user. Okay.
Okay.
So there's a different way of Zen for Tech 1, 2, 3. Zen for Tech 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there is a different method by which we consultants fetch out the data. Okay. Those things I will tell you in the next class.